Good morning. It's Friday, April 3rd. This is an open door courtesy of the Reverend Cindy Krupp, or the Rev, as I may start calling her. This morning, we are doing our regular reading the Word. It's what we call it. And this is where we gather together to read a book. And we are starting a new book this morning. It's by the same author that we've been reading, which is the Guides, the authors, I suppose you could call it, through Paul Selig. And the title of the book is Divine Union. And we decided to move to this new book because it contains some new material that the guides really haven't presented to us before. And while there are parts of the book that say you needed to read, or you didn't need to, but it might have been helpful to read all of the other books, we are a group that is certainly has a strong enough and deep enough foundation to understand, comprehend, and use these teachings as we are now. So Cindy has something she's going to play for us, and we will begin, and then we'll do it in our usual way where each one of us will raise our hand and read a paragraph. But we'll start with the introduction after we have watched this clip that the Rev is going to put up for us.
The Rev, I love that.
If you understand that everything simply is, and that everything is of God, an expression of God operating at one level of tone or perhaps another, you will understand that all things can be reknown in God, especially those things that have been seen as outside of source or conditioned by you to be seen as negative. You do understand already that the rattlesnake has a right to be, but best not to step on its tail. You understand that the man that you dated who did not turn out to be the best character you thought must be understood as having a right to be, but you are no longer required to stay in his presence. And to understand that the choices that you have made to avoid the rattlesnake, or actually to step away from the one with poor character, can be highly useful, but does not mean that you disavow the rattlesnake or the man with a poor character as outside of source. They are being themselves at the level that they have aligned to. And if they align to the higher, they may do so. And the claim, "Behold, I make all things new," in actuality will change your relationship to both the man and the rattlesnake, because it will restore them to their divine essence outside of the fear that you have endowed them with. Again, this does not mean that you decide to pick the rattlesnake up and say, "Hello, I have just blessed you." There is no need. If indeed you make a wish, "I wish that this could be so," you're actually claiming potential. It can be so must be based on the premise that it is a possibility, and a wish is a possibility. A prayer is not a wish, it actually is an act. To pray in action is to say to the source of all things, "I know your presence. I understand your presence even when I do not see the outcome before me, but I claim the action of the divine upon this situation, this challenge, or this idea that I hold that is contrary to what I know to be true." I am word through this old idea, word, I am word. I am word through this malady, word, I am word. I am word through my misalignment, my misunderstanding, word, I am word will claim the action of the divine where it has been claimed, but it will do what it seeks to do, not what you would have it do. The outcome is out of your hands. To realize that the highest is always present in source, and that you'll actually be shortchanging yourself by deciding what the outcome should be. My train will arrive on time, lest I don't make my important appointment, might be understood later as, thank goodness the train was late. If I had been on time, we would have been in that accident I saw later reported. You must understand that the divine timing that is present in source can be understood as something that can be aligned to by you. I am in divine timing, I am in divine order, which again moves you beyond your supposition of what that should be and look like. I should have been farther along by now. I should have been married by now. I should have been promoted by now. I should have known my true purpose by now, says the personality self when she looks around her and measures her achievements, lack of love, lack of whatever she sees in a scale that she has been appropriated by in the common field. Now, as we said as we began this instruction, the common field changes through common agreement, but the common field is actually impacted by everything that operates within it. And as soon as one of you makes the wish, as soon as one of you states the prayer, as soon as one of you claims the action of the divine, behold, I make all things new, the residual affect of that claim is known in matter. How it appears is not up to you. When there is a collective mass of human beings all holding a high intention, indeed you can understand that it is the difference between one bell being rung and 1,000 bells being rung, and the residual affect in the common field of the 1,000 bells will hold the resonance of the tone beyond what the personality or singular self might achieve or imagine. But that is only true at this level still. When one aligns to the higher and moves to the universal self, the level indeed that we instruct you from, the impact that you may hold is far greater than you may hold while you still claim a body. Now, the body is a requirement for the incarnation you have chosen. Those of us who instruct through the man in the chair have known ourselves some in form, some beyond form at the inception of our being. We understand ourselves as in union with Source, but we actually cannot circumvent the free will of humanity, although we may instruct humanity in its use of will. And we may support humanity in its lifting to its own sovereignty, and we may support humanity in the great claims of truth that indeed are the birthrights of each created soul. While we have purview in our field, while we may support you in energetic ways, we cannot make you do anything, nor can we come down the chimney and say, behold, I make all things new, and give you a new set of dining room furniture. We operate well beyond the level of personal will. We understand the personal will of the human being who we use to give these instructions, and we may understand the will of those of you who ask questions, but we will not confirm your will or that you should have what you desire. I don't want my child to suffer anymore. Tell me how I can help him stop the self-destructive behavior. We will tell you what you might need to know to support him, yes, but his trajectory is still an act of his will, perhaps mandated by karma or soul choice to realize himself through circumstances that you would not elect him to know. We do not make you wrong in your questions, but we do offer you this little piece of advice. Understand that you have the right to be. You have the right to err. You have the right to learn through the creations that you encounter. You have a right to change your minds about what was so important. You have the right to know God in whatever way that means anything to you. And you have the right to say yes. 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 I have come. I have come, I have come. I am in the upper room. I have come. Behold, I make all things new. It will be so.
All right. I would like to just open it up for any thoughts or observations about that video. I have several, but I want to I will open it up, and anyone who would like to share their response. And William, you're first up. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all.
Good,
Glad to
good,
have you here.
good morning. It's like I want to look at all the flowers here before I say anything. Thank you. I just wrote down 5 sentences I'd like to just read. This is what I got from listening. I've endowed someone with my fear or love. The outcome is out of my hands. I am aligned in divine time. The common field makes all things new. His trajectory is according to his will. And you have the right to say, yes, I have come, it will be so. So I just like resonating with that. Thank you.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Really appreciate that. Cindy, you're up next.
Thank you. I never pre-watch the videos. I knew we listened to this one a month or so ago, but I don't pre-watch it. It seems so perfect to wherever I am. And I feel to read the claim that I'm living in today, which came from the most recent channeling. I sent it to you this morning, Amy, but it feels like I just want to say it out loud as we begin this reading. On this night, I claim that I am willing to release the fear of living in high choice, of choosing in a high accord, of relying on a high accord to support me in the highest or best or most worthy act that I can claim. I am saying yes to this of my own free will, and I offer this will to the higher octave in the upper room to be made new. I am word through my personal will. Word, I am word through my understanding of personal will. Word, I am word. And I am allowing personal will to be reclaimed, reknown, and reseen. I am in the upper room. I have come, I have come, I have come. And I just want to say I'm just very inspired by the teaching, and I I claim as possibility and probability in my life that I can smile at the rattlesnake and step out of the way, and I do not need to hold the belief that fear protects me. I will to surrender it to whatever the monad is or the high self is, and it's that intention that I'm stepping into our experience of divine union. So thank you for letting me say all that.
Mhm. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome, Alko. We haven't seen you for a little bit. It's good to see your face. Same with Josephine. Anyone else? Susan.
Um, thank you, Cindy, for it sounded like an attunement. Excuse me. I've got some throat thing going on. Um, I would like a copy of that in the chat because I think that would be just an excellent way to start every meeting, taking charge of our intention and that intention to not only recognize but know that we are not bound by whatever our attachments were to fear. Um, I just thought that was beautiful. So if we can't do it, every week at least, I would like a copy in the chat if possible.
Thank you.
I'll grab it for you, and it's right out of the transcripts from Wednesday's channeling.
Oh, this
I didn't
past
write
one?
it. Hmm.
Oh, I can get it then. I can get it. I can get it. But that really struck me. It really struck me deeply about the potential that we have and not having to know how that potential manifests. Just know that we have it. So thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Good morning, Indigo.
Hi everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I love being here. For me, uh, what what struck me or was just surrender, just to surrender and that I don't need to know what to do or anything. I can just surrender and go there and go wherever I'm going and know that it's perfect exactly as it is. And just be there. So that's for me, that's what I just love. Just just going there all 100%.
Mm,
Thank you.
thank you, Indigo. John, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. First of all, let me just say, welcome, Suzanne Boyle. Welcome. And the one thing that crossed as soon as I heard, as soon you were just checking just now about asking for stuff. I had a thought that crossed my mind, and it says, "Oh my God, Suzanne is so demanding. She wants the stuff on the chat." And I thought to myself, that's interesting because we just heard the lesson about the right to say yes. And I just saw it demonstrated, Suzanne. So that you want something, you ask for it. You say yes. And I think that was so beautiful. It was a pertinent right on the in the now lesson for me. So thank you. Saying yes, the right to say yes. And the thing for me, so the thing that I got basically was right at the beginning where he talks about it coming from the common field, which is made by the common agreement. And I love that. I love that. We're in a common field made by the common agreement. So this is an exercise in learning, as Suzanne demonstrated, a common agreement to say yes. And I'm saying thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Oh, thank you, John. Oh, welcome, Richard. And yeah. So what I heard from that was, and I am, and I'll say my piece and then Rana. Um, the will of the personality self is what I question. And I'm still questioning that. Because I think the will of the personality self is a mishmash. And it's probably a pretty, if we can, without putting, I guess I'm just not really sure what the will of the personality self is. Um, so I kind of would reword that and say, I am word through my willingness to participate in divine will. I am word through my willingness to participate in divine will as divine will, in divine will. And that's kind of how I look at the movement through time and space in this body. And then the other thing is what everyone else has mentioned is I have the right to know what I am. I have the right to say yes to knowing what I am. That's my right. And I can remember lying in one of my 3 a.m. waking moments and saying, you know, I have the right to know what I am. I am free to understand and know. And that was a huge, that was a big step for me to sort of to make that claim that that is my right. And that's partly how I ended up here with all of you, was through exercising that right. Right. So that's what I have to say. And Rana, you're up next.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to add that this gathering feels super powerful here this morning. What I'm noticing is every time I listen to the guides, there's circumstances that pop up for me in my as they're sharing that these pointings can be applied to. You know, yesterday I had the opportunity to do some claiming in regards to another individual because I don't want to hold grievances. I don't know about you, but I'm very sensitive now to any form of suffering. And so wonderful to have this tool where I can pause and claim all things to be new and know who they are in truth and who they serve in truth. But then that key of letting go of all outcome. I mean, I'm really there. I'm really in this mode and it feels like trust. It feels like, okay, I'm going to do this part and I know that the universe will do its part and whatever occurs is for the highest good. That level of trust. You know, I'm really grateful for that feeling this morning. And I love all of you so much. Everything you guys have said, I'm in the background going, yes, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. And yes. And what Suzanne had said about using that as an invocation. I mean, we don't have to do that every single time, but I would like a copy of that, please, Cindy. Thank you. You can just snap your notes if you want.
Oh, thank you, Rana. Ditto to what you just said. And Josephine, good morning.
Good morning, all. I found this lesson very powerful and answering a lot. And in my mind, also, I have more questions. The difference between the individual will, the collective will, and the divine will, and the power in each and how they interact, and where the ultimate then would take us, is very confusing in my mind. I don't know how they interact, and the timing of their interaction and the ultimate result. And what Rana just said partially answers that query of mine, which is just have faith. And above all, it is the divine will. And how the individual and collective will fit into that divine will, we just do not know. And so the lesson is extremely important to me in how I perceive every step that I take along the way, which changes as we grow older, even more so. And so I come back on, Rana, thank you. Just have faith. So thank you.
Wonderful. What a great prelude to our reading, Josephine. Thank you for that. And Cindy's put up in the chat The guides speak to this in Divine Union. Really excited to be reading this with all of us. And so am I, totally. Really excited. Let me just see who wants to read this morning. Okay, so Cindy wants to read. Indigo wants to read. I'm sure Patricia wants to read.
I would love to read, except I haven't received the book yet.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
waiting for it. Thank you.
Okay, Suzanne wants to read. May wants to read. Okay, we've got 4 people.
John
I'd be
too. John has his hand up.
John, good. So help me out here because I can't write and see raised hands at the same time. So, all right, let's start out. Let's start with the introduction, and Cindy will take it away. And I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm not wedded to this. It's just it come to my mind. Would be that everyone will read a page and not a paragraph. And that way perhaps we can proceed a little bit more quickly. And if there's something in a paragraph on a page, we can hone in on that. But otherwise, we'll just go through a whole page if that works for folks. Okay, thank you. So take it away, Cindy.
Introduction, Day 1. What we see before us as we see each of you, as we see you each, is not only your comprehension of the studies thus far, but your realization of them, how you have integrated them into the energetic field and the lives that you live. You presuppose many things about what we offer, how it should make you feel, how you should be and abide in it. But in fact, the teachings are serving you in ways you don't see. This teaching has never been for the selfish or for the one who seeks to commoditize her spiritual self, his livelihood. This is the teaching of the one who has come in service. Now, service is not what you think or what you would have it be. Many of you wish to serve in a public platform, or you wish to serve for recompense, or you wish to be seen as serving for the benefit of others so that you may feel redeemed or worthy of self in a higher way. In fact, and this I have highlighted in my book, true service is expression, how one expresses as who they are, whatever that may appear as, whether anyone is looking or not. If you are not acknowledged for your work on the mortal plane, please understand that the real action is happening beyond this, in the upper room, where all things are made new. To offer the self in service is to abide at a level of tone where you must always move to reception. Be in reception and received at all times. This is confusing, again, because you presuppose what that means. Shall I finish the paragraph?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
This is confusing again because you presuppose what that means. I will be told to turn left or turn right at the right corner, at the left corner. I will be asked in ways I understand for my permission. In fact, what happens is very different. You acclimatize to a level of tone where things simply are, beyond the names they were given or the choices that were made in prior times. You are actually not bound by constructs of time as you have understood time. You are liberated in many ways from the idea of self or small self that would seek to claim an identity through this work when it is in fact the identity of the one with no name who claims you.
Oh
This is
boy.
the divine. This is what Cindy is an individuated expression of the infinite invisible. My full agreement and acceptance of that is what I say yes to.
Mm.
And yes, I do believe that Joe Goldsmith is one of the guides. The Joe Goldsmith teaching. All right, that's what I got.
May, what have you
Yeah.
got?
I think the teaching just follows us. It's everywhere. It's because it's embedded in like because of how like reality works. It's followed us to this. It follows us in like big pinpoints and then big webs. But yeah, like this week I've been really playing around with the words like embodiment and just like letting these teachings kind of just fully set in. Like in the last night I was re-listening to a lecture, and the gifts of passage was a quote that really struck out for me. The gifts of passage, because it's, I don't know, I'm I also like this whole kind of this like acclimating to this is and doing the work. And I think this, like I was thinking about Josephine's question where it's like, so what do we do now? And it's kind of we're just really what we're doing is we're training to like be more productive thinkers in a collective dream. It's never not that. It's just never not that. And I think the more of us that do it shape it in ways, but it is that element of trust and trusting that this is exactly what it is, and that it to not put that wall on it, because we are that nameless. We're so like every time we think about it, it proves itself to be like more and more boundlessly true. Our infinite, yeah, our boundless self-fullness.
I love what you just said. We are training to be more productive thinkers in the collective dream. That was a beautiful thing. I wrote that down on the first page. So thank you for that, May. And good morning, Lonnie.
Good morning, all. I'm driving again,
Mhm.
but I could not speak to this because these last 3 weeks have literally been. I'm not a religious person, like they talk about testimony, but oh my goodness, the testimony of what's on that page and what I've been walking. And before I left on this trip, I kind of did this thing. Well, I've been doing this surrender walk for a year now, since last March. And it's been really interesting. But leaving on this trip, I had no idea where I was, staying. And I had $100 in my pocket. And I kept hearing, you have everything you need. You have everything you need. And to just trust and go. So I left not knowing where I was going to stay or anything. But the thing is that I've been walking with these words, consumption and assumption of the divine. And that's what this testimony of this trip has been. In every single friggin' moment, being in one of those energies of consumption or assumption of and within the divine. I have done things that I normally would never do, would never step up to, but in the agreement to step up to what is put before me, there I am. It has been holy crap. Things I could not have imagined. And it's just in moving out of the way and letting myself be 100% led. Even in the car as I'm driving, 100% led. Yeah. So this speaks right to what I'm living right now. And it's like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's beautiful. Lonnie, we look forward to your arriving home so we can see your face.
I can't wait to get home and just sit still with you guys.
All right, drive carefully and just raise your hand if you have anything more to say as you're on your journey.
Okay. Love you all.
Okay. Thank you, Lonnie. John, you're up next.
Yeah, so that's so well, listening to Ronnie just highlighted for me to the bottom of the first page we read, to always move in reception, be in reception, and received at all times. And I think that's what the testimony she was talking about there will lit up that for me. So, the thing that I'd like to share, Amy, is that the presupposition, at the very beginning, is so very powerful just to recognize, what are the presuppositions that we're living our life by, and I think that speaks to what this is all about, just getting in touch with it, because the very last sentence we heard, the right to say yes to what? To liberation, when it is in fact the identity of the one with no name who claims you. That's a real powerful presupposition. To settle into that one, oh my God, that's the journey right there. So that's the first page brought to me.
Thank you. Yeah, this is really powerful. Part of what I got too was true service is expression, how one expresses as who they are, whatever that may appear as, whether anyone is looking or not. So we keep coming back to this being your authentic self, right?
And also what it says, what May was talking about, the collective dream, because we learned about that earlier, the common field and the common agreement. So that's where we're consistently building a new common agreement as a collective dream, and the presuppositions that flow, have to flow from those presuppositions.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to bring this back, thank you, John, to the word superposition, which we talked about yesterday, because we are both the divine will expressing as an apparently separate person, and we are the apparently separate person participating in, of, and with the collective. And the collective is in participation with the apparently separate person and as the divine will itself. And it's all happening all the time at once. And from my own journey, the more I can tune in and sense my way into that, it's really exciting for me. That really lights me up. And in a paradoxical way, what allows me to do that is what Indigo said in the very beginning, which is surrendering. Surrendering to all that arises in the awareness that I am. It's really, the only word I can think of is magnificent.
Maybe magnetic too.
Maybe magnetic too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it goes back to the course where it's like you can only teach it by being it. Like you can only have it by giving it. It's the only like to yeah. Because we live in such a world where it's like, oh, I have this and you have that. It's like so competition based and it's like been like repetitively bred. And I think we are coming to terms with this like dismantling of this like warring mindset, because like once you know that that's like it can't be productive at all whatsoever, it's like you kind of just know, you just solidified in this like infinite sense of self, and there's really nothing that can shake that. There's nothing that, like, once you know, you know.
Yeah.
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 How it's so powerful. Lonnie, yeah.
Surrendering doesn't mean not doing anything. not being a part of it. Surrendering means the exact opposite of that, of being all of it and making all of it open into possibility, not limiting anything.
Thank you
It
for
doesn't
that
mean,
reminder.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Lonnie. That's yes. Saying yes. Yeah. Okay, Patricia and then Susan.
When I, pardon me, when I surrender, I say yes.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's gorgeous. Susan.
Well, and on that same theme, surrendering, saying yes is what frees me. I feel free with that. So that's one of the attunements. We are free through our surrender, and the surrender isn't to anything, it's more an opening to everything.
Yes. And that is just what Lonnie said, isn't it? That is an active participation. Oh, it's so amazing. God, this is really lighting me up this morning. All right, Indigo, you are the next reader, and we're starting with now what that means is very specific. So take it away, Indigo.
I love hearing what everyone's saying. It's just, to me, it's so powerful. I'm just like, I just want to sink in it.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing. So, thank you, everyone. Now, what that means is very specific. The monad has no name. The Christ within has no name. Sorry, that takes me away. God has no name except that which you would, I'm sorry. God has no name except that which you would endow it with. I'm going to say that again. God has no name except that which you would endow it with. And when you give a name to God, you decide who God should be through the ordering of the letters, the sound of the word, the meaning that the word has been endowed with. Now we use the term I am word for a very specific reason. The monad, or the incarnate divine that is present in each soul that seeks resurrection and form, actually aligns to the greater source of all things that exists beyond time and space, or the specificity of a name. Because we must call it something, we call it the word, or the energy of the creation in action. The fruition of the word in flesh and bone, in the soil and earth. The fruition of the word in all things seen and unseen is moving towards cosmic union. And we use the word cosmic intentionally because it is not bound by this plane or even your idea of what it can be. When you put a frame around something, you give it limitation. You require limitation in many ways to comprehend the meaning of things. I know what a plate looks like. I put food, I put my food on my plate. I understand I understand the shape of the plate and how to stack them in the cupboard by size. You have limitations that are in high service. You know the parameters of your property, where you build your house, where your neighbor builds hers. But you also understand that these parameters are in many ways man-made. They support an idea of separation, but only an idea. The requirement for this class is to move beyond separation as a mandate, a thing that was inherited that you abide by, expect to see, and cannot imagine other.
Thank you. That was great. I love that you read so slowly in Dago. I love it. I was watching Patricia while you were reading and just seeing her take your words in. It was really lovely.
They
Thank you.
just really, it really just takes my breath away.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, or it's just, I just wanted to stop.
Oh, goodness. All right. Thank you, Indigo. What stood out for anyone? Anything in particular?
Um, what stood out for me was an idea that I've had lately in my own life to exercise some of this. And I've given myself the suggestion that every day is new. It's brand new. I know nothing. I wake up and I know absolutely nothing. I don't know. I just know that I am an entity. And when I take a walk, um, I can see how many judgments I've made about not only the people, but the proper way to go, how I should be dressed, all of this stuff. And to me, knowing that it's all my own idea, it's all I don't want to say an illusion, but it is in the it's I love what May said about the co-creation of the common dream. And I don't know if I expressed it exactly the way she said it, but there's so much freedom and so much potential in that, knowing that I can recognize where I have made a judgment and change that and put that out there and know that that is adding to a collective dream that I prefer.
Mm, thank you.
Thank you.
That's really lovely. When we start to notice how many judgments we make, it's like these little micro judgments. And it can drive you crazy once you start noticing, right? Because to live in the physical world, we are constantly called upon to make micro judgments. You know, how far am I from the refrigerator? Um, you know, do I need to move aside for this oncoming car? So some of them are benign and just survival, and some of them are really full of decisions for confirmation of the separate self.
Yeah, with this work, it's very similar. Like what I was writing about last night, I was like, yeah, it feels almost like not like boot camp, but like just like the work to like start projecting and extending out like aware, like at least my awareness and like the awareness of everyone I know that is doing exactly this. Like it's gonna inform a collective dream in ways that are much more productive. And it's just like part of that is trusting that it is doing exactly that, um, with the work of of this. And yeah, it's untangling these judgments that we've been like given. Um I love what Lonnie says about like beliefs. Like belief is just an idea that somebody else had, and I can attach to that belief. I can I can detach right now, or like it'll come up, but I have to not judge myself for it too. There's this like element of, yeah, discernment and and then judgment. Um, and yeah, it's a gradated and graduated process, but it also exists in this exponentiality, which is cool to witness. But I think we like Paul has spoken through the through in the channeling where he is expressing that idea, like where we can kind of bounce around the levels, but they're like because we all have that point where we're never separate from that. And sometimes it's hard to remember. It's like, oh my God, my body's like falling apart. I think that like I've crumbled my hips, and I'm like, no, no, that's not like ground reality. Yeah, being of the world and not of.
Yeah, I love the phrase, the exponentiality of it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Um, thank you, William, and then Patricia, and then Suzanne's going to read our next paragraph.
I spend more time observing and noticing, and then something happens, and there's no I there to notice. And I'm so tuned into the moment I start hearing my words, my my identity. I make up a story, and it's really funny. This past year, never know when this story is going to put me back to the truth. I got 2 traffic tickets for running a red light. And it's costly. It's getting my attention that just to make that light, just it was only a tenth of a second, maybe, where the picture that took good pictures they took of me. But what I see is that I could have rest and stop. That word stop, just stop, because I'm here now. No, I'm not. Just stop. When I say the words, I need do nothing, I like it when there's no I there that needs do nothing either. It's just being aware. And I'm seeing that truth of knowing that even when I don't know it, even when I'm so busy running the red light, but there's something. It's that knowingness, knowingness, knowingness. I need do nothing, knowingness. So it's just a whole different sense. And that's where I like that the outcome really is out of the hands of that guy that ran that red light. Only he's going to be accountable for paying that, much to my wife's Don't you be in such a rush. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was a reminder of just being in the flow and just bringing us right back to just pure being. Pure being. Thank you. Patricia, you're up next. Good morning again.
Good morning. Good morning. Wonderful to be here. Pardon me. You know, I wrote last night, I am a separate self when I'm walking, because I walk with a cane, because I don't want to fall again. I don't want to fall again and break anything, because I've already been there. I've already done that. So to be conscious of that, I am a separate self at that moment. But then that moment passes and it moves on to the next moment. Oh, I'm in Mexico. There are lots of cobblestones and things one has to watch, as Suzanne well knows. Uh, so as those moments pass, it's like William driving the car. As those moments pass to the next moment, it's like as I enter into that next moment, it's a moment of surrendering. And the next moment, and the next moment.
Mhm.
So I'm going to walk to a cafe and bakery this morning. I've never been to it. There's part of me that goes a little afraid, and the next part is that this next adventure. But I must be careful so I don't fall. Both are true.
Superpositioning.
Exactly. Yep. So that surrendering into being is happening in the moment. And I think that's an important thing for me to remember. It's not this or that, it's both.
Mm.
I'm a being, I'm in beingness or in awareness in the nowness, and I'm in this world and I'm watching the sidewalk.
Mm.
So both are true. Thank you.
All is
It's
true.
Yeah, it's funny. I am immediately moved by a desire to meet you at that cafe, and I really want to, and I sense in my being that that is not an idle wish, that is potential, as the guide said through Paul in the first thing we looked at this morning. That's a wish, that's a desire, and its potential can be fulfilled. It will be fulfilled. I'm so excited to participate in the fulfilling of that desire.
Come on over. Let Scotty beam
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't feel I have to wait for the story to share the coffee with you. I'm already doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, but the taste of the coffee and the pastry, that's what really pulls me in.
I've been listening to more, if I excuse me if I may still continue. I've been listening to more near-death experiences and fascinated by them, just fascinated. And I think to myself, oh my goodness, the taste of coffee. When this body leaves, this body goes away and all there is spirit. Will I ever taste coffee again, I wonder?
I think the answer to that is yes, and you will really taste it. You will taste it in ways you can't imagine now. I think that my understanding is that's the answer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so reassuring.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. All right, Suzanne is going to start from the top of page 3. Oh, Suzanne, you have to unmute.
Would
There
that
you go.
be the paragraph that starts with the realization of the self?
No, and again. Oh,
And
yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. You're spot
okay,
on.
okay. The realization of the self in a unified state actually exists already. There is an aspect of each of you that remembers who you are in a cosmic sense. And again, the word cosmic is being used intentionally, beyond religion, beyond any paradigm that you may have utilized prior. This aspect of self is in cohesive agreement with all things. Underline all. It doesn't read all languages, but it knows the meaning behind every word. It doesn't understand all things or comprehend them intellectually, but it experiences all things, and in the experience of them, the knowing is present. Let me go back a little bit to this. I want to read that again, okay? The realization of the self in a unified state actually exists already. There's an aspect of each of you that remembers who you are in a cosmic sense. And again, the word cosmic is being used intentionally, beyond religion, beyond any paradigm that you may have utilized prior. This aspect of self is in cohesive agreement with all things. Underline all. It doesn't read all languages, but it knows the meaning behind every word. So that's the cohesive agreement, okay. It doesn't understand all things or comprehend them intellectually, but it experiences all things. And in the experience of them, the knowing is present. So that's all cohesive agreement. That's a new term. I haven't heard that one before. To understand what this means is to move beyond the idea of a school. A school is useful. It has grades and borders. Every text we have authored here has been a class in itself in a strata or field of progressive vibrational agreement. The agreement we have made in our last text, A World Made New, was the mechanics of reconciliation, how things are reconciled through vibrational accord. The manifest divine come as each one of you that knows who it is, what it is, and how it serves in agreement to source. To move to a unified state is actually to liberate yourself from the idea of the class. And understand we use the word idea with the idea of the class, where you get a letter grade, permission to progress, possibly, or possibly a diploma to honor you for your fine hard work. We don't grant you diplomas. We know who you are. You don't require the diploma. It is the aspect of you that already knows, that exists beyond the class and becomes the teacher. You want me to go on?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, by teacher, we don't mean one who stands before the class, but one who invites the class to their own realization. And you do this in several ways, not only through knowing who others are, what they are, and how they serve in a higher amplitude than the linear idea of progressive time and space offers you, but through the reality that the cosmic self can conceive of through its participation in the manifest divine being seen, known, and comprehended, not just by you, but by all you encounter.
Go ahead and
So I
finish
think
that.
so I just want to say something. This was a pretty dense paragraph for me, and I think what they're addressing is that as we realize ourselves, come to realize ourselves and our potential and our connection with the divine, um, all of the constructs of the past are diminished or dissolved. And in that sense of dissolution is also the vibration that we're putting out there that affects the common good. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds like what May was saying.
Okay.
And Cindy has her hand up. So go ahead, Cindy.
Thank you. This is important for me to say out loud for me. And I not everybody was here, but I'm going back to a moment when I found myself raising my hand in the Advaita class yesterday. And I spoke to Shannon. This is a very high vibrational text. Course in Miracles is a very high vibrational text. The Vasista Yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, some of the translations of the Tao, they're truth teachings, right? And in A Course in Miracles, we're taught that the teacher, the teaching, and the student are one. And I think the part of us that still lives in separation can't grasp what that means. And yet, to me, this paragraph, and thank you, Suzanne, for stopping, is highlighting that same thing. I got real emotional speaking to, Shauna was talking about putting the book that she hasn't been able to put down for decades, so it becomes funny after a while. But it's when we allow the world, the dualistic world, to interpret truth teachings for us that we get all messed up. Stepping back and just remembering that the teacher, the teaching, and the student are all one. And from the point of view of duality, we don't know what that means, but we could be willing to go beyond what our understanding is and allow something new to come in is the experience that's happening here almost on a continuous basis. So I don't wish to continually project the teacher or my prosecutor or whatever, my judge, to be outside of me. So I'm just really grateful that it came back again. Whenever I speak, I'm speaking for the one, which is in me, right? And there's something here that's almost feeling nauseous as I'm speaking, which means I've hit something that's really key. This continual looking outside ourselves for the truth is, I think the end of that has come, and a big part of this teaching, and Josephine was talking to it, even in her question, is so important for me. And even in that, that what I started with and what I've been asking myself, what would I give up if I will for the higher will, the highest will, the most divine will? There's this understanding that the monad is who I am when I know who I am. So what doesn't want that? Like, what is it that I'm stepping away from? And part of that is this continual, like, I need you to tell me I'm worthy of love. Like, where does that come from? I need you to tell me I'm making a difference when there is no you. Who I'm saying you are is just a projection. So I'm really like, now the head feels like it's in a vice. Something doesn't want to accept that we're already here.
One of the things that's coming up for me as you're speaking, Cindy, is that we're not really learning anything new. We're just remembering what we already have known but forgot. We couldn't know it if we didn't already know it.
And we need to be reminded.
Right. Which is why we love each other. so much in these meetings is because we love being reminded of what we are. So, as Indigo said right in the beginning so powerfully, this is such a blessing. It's so, so much fun. It's so enjoyable and it's so powerful. Yeah. Suzanne, maybe if you could just finish and you'll start us on page 4 in order to finish that paragraph. That would be great. But you have to unmute.
Thank
There
you.
you
Okay. Somehow I got into your profile. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Now, this is not as far-fetched, and impossible as it seems if you remember this one thing. The aspect of you that knows, that truly knows, is present now, has always been present, but it is not the intellect. And you must remember this, you are not acquiring information. You are agreeing to something beyond the idea that you have held prior of what it can be. Realization comes at the cost of the old, and the liberated self that is operating at this level holds no border, does not discriminate, does not presuppose, does not decide what things should be in order to make them so. The aspect of you that already is in union, the true self in a heightened way, is now being given permission to break the veil, to render the self in a new frame beyond the idea of frame. Is that the end of the page? Because I'm on a
Yeah,
Kindle.
no, that's it. We're sort of blending and into the next page as we keep
Okay,
reading. Yeah.
okay.
I just want to say one thing. I'd forgotten this. Remember in the yesterday's Finding Truth, Peter Panagore talks about finding himself in the body of someone. It's a man walking with his spiritual companions on a dirt road. And he says, I didn't understand the language they were speaking, but he knew he was there and having the experience. And that really sort of hit me when Suzanne was reading earlier that, and I'm looking for this, I probably won't be able to find it. It doesn't understand all things or comprehend them intellectually. It doesn't read all the languages, but in the experience of them, the knowing is present, right? And that's what Peter Panagore was describing. And Susan, if you haven't seen um, that video on the near-death experience, I really encourage you to take a look at it. It's really,
Okay.
it's
Thank
about,
you. Yeah,
it's,
I'll check it out.
yeah, yeah. And then also he says the earth is in a fog. He described seeing the earth as being in a fog. And the last thing you read, we are now being given permission to break that veil or to move the fog aside. It's, that really strikes me.
Well, and with young people especially, it's all it's all about being the light. And it's through our acknowledgement and our knowing of that as who we truly are that clears that fog away
Yeah,
as we rest in our beingness and just our being and knowingness and uh, in that surrender and acceptance for all that is. It's uh, it's enlightening. I mean, physically enlightening, to my body to sense that. Like this is an opportunity for me to feel also how heavy the other vibration is, and how it brings me down to earth for sure, but it doesn't allow me as much movement as that, being in that higher space, or knowing that I think you said it before, you can be in both. You can, or Patricia said it before. You can be in both. You have to have your feet on the ground, but you can also be that light. And I'm so glad that this is a group that talks about that. And I'm also glad to hear that younger people are expressing it in different ways. You know,
Mhm.
we're doing it through this study, this book study, this, more of an intellectual approach, but I think they are doing it in a different way, and it's just absolutely beautiful, and it's hopeful, and I I love our young people.
Thank you. I agree. Yeah, well said. All right, John, you may have the last word here.
Oh, gosh, well, let me just say if it is the last word. The reason I put my hand up is because there was something about Suzanne talking there that spoke to that whole paragraph. I don't need to hear the words she's saying. I'm getting the resonance. I don't need the language. I'm getting the resonance. I understand what the hell she's talking about, and I don't even. And I so appreciate that. It's novel. It's novel. It's not. It's and I'm so grateful for it, Suzanne, that you came along and that you're saying yes to life like in this manner. And the other thing that I wanted to say is because it's when he talks about the cosmic and stuff like that. For me, the understanding of cosmic is universal, and it's just a stage. It says all things, but yeah, it is all things. It's a stage of the universe. So there's more beyond that. Divine knowledge is something else. Divine union is something else. But the cosmic consciousness is the awareness and my ability to intuit, to innerly know it. I don't have to be told. I already know. That is the language. It's the speaking. It's a speaking and an understanding that I already know. Or I got, or as in this language, they say, I get the tone of it. We're on the same frequency, resonance, or vibration, but it's a tone, and I think it's a musical tone. And I think that's the song of the universe. One song, universal, cosmic. It's a singing of one song. So with that song, I'd like to say I love you all, and thanks for making my day and Good Friday just so good.
Wow, what a wonderful way to close out. Thank you, John. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy to be reading this book with you all. And so, yes, happy Good Friday to you. Those are just words, but all Fridays are Good Fridays, and every day is a Friday. And um, many blessings to all of you. Thank you for your presence here, and we'll reconnect on Monday. And until then,
I would like one thing to say is that Sunday is Easter, and for me, it's a resurrection of the spirit. So I wish you all the resurrection of your spirits. Blessings upon you.
thank you.